to the Unit 6 of IMC, and today we will discuss advertising effectiveness measurement. Uh, our objective today will be to understand the importance of measuring advertising effectiveness. We shall learn the various tools that are used in order to measure how effective the ads are performing, both the qualitative and the quantitative tools that are used to find the ad effectiveness. We will also discuss very briefly about Link, the Millward Brown's pre-testing tool, and we will be discussing the difficulties that arise in the measurement attempts that we make to understand the ad effectiveness. As usual, my question for the day, uh, well, it could be more of a reflection today. Think of an ad that you recently saw. Do you think it influenced your behavior in any way? Why or why not? While you take a little time to reflect on your own experience, let me share mine. Of late, there are several ads in the different media platforms, be it the TV broadcast, rarely though. More often, you find these in the social media platforms. We come across those crystal beads, the bracelets, the necklaces, and various stones like the pyrite stone and all, which promises some positivity into your life and your behavior, etc. Now, intrigued by the functionality of the promises and attracted by the different hues, and an intention to understand if it really works, the impact ratio of the promises they make, and also what they claim that it's a natural stone, though find all different types of use which seem very unnatural. I started exploring into them, and as I kept browsing, I landed up with one such website of the Scientific India, and kept browsing a couple of bracelets to see like how they are, and I was really carried away by the colors. While browsing, they popped up a window which solicited my permission to send some email. I did not want to respond there, but then I couldn't come out of it. So I felt, okay, nothing wrong in sharing my mail ID. So I keyed in my mail ID and came out of that pop up window. No wonder. The next day, I had some mails in my inbox that suggested an offer, right? Well, once again, lured by that offer, which promised to give like buy one, get one kind of a thing, I explored again and was a little attracted by a multicolor bracelet and choose it. Well, I bought it. Now, this is how it impacted me. Now, how did it impact me? Well, I was enticed by the product variety, though it was because of the hues, the colors that I explored further, and the intrigue, intention, and the curiosity developed in my mind. The authenticity and the credibility of the promises they make, and the ease of use which they are trying to convince us with, and also the outcome. Well, it is debatable if it really gives you that results. Now, having all this, somehow I got converted. Well, it's not about one individual who engaged into this. interaction and got converted. Well, the ad certainly had an impact on me, but we need to understand when a company invests such huge amount of money into the communication to its larger audience, how does this ad effectiveness be assured to the brand or the product or the company that floats these products? Okay, so what is advertising effectiveness? Let us understand this first. From the moment a certain amount of budget is allocated for the advertising and promotion, through the time they create ads and communicate their messages intelligibly, creatively to their target audience and get the conversions, and thereby the company measures, the marketer measures the level of awareness created by their advertisements, the number of conversions that happened, the number of the number of people who now have a complete brand advocacy being done by them, and also like the gain over competition is what the advertising effectiveness deals with. So, how do we define the advertising effectiveness? I would like to read this small definition for it. It is the measure of the impact an advertisement has on the audience's behavior, emotions, or perceptions, and whether it leads to desired results for brand. Okay. Now, uh, let us see like what exactly is being done by the agency or the advertiser when they are trying to measure the ad effectiveness. What we need to do is understand the aspects of the advertisement and the objective of the advertisement. Okay. So, what are the key aspects of the advertising effectiveness that the company or the agency or the marketer or the campaign manager tries to measure? And how does this help them? Okay. Uh, the attention. Now, did our ad uh, catch the attention of the viewers or not? Or did the ad grab the viewer's attention or not? Then we need to check if the message has been understood by the target audience or not. That is the comprehension. Now, have they understood the message as intended and conveyed by us? Then the recall. Is the has the viewer retained the information and can recall about the brand, the product, the variant that we have promoted? And would the viewer be intending to go for the product? I mean, to buy it, to use it, or to gift it? Okay. So, the persuasion that it can, that the ad has done. Did our ad change the views of the target audience towards a certain desired favorable action? Okay. So the key aspects here are attention, comprehension, recall, persuasion, and action. Okay. Now, if the ad has accomplished these aspects, then the ad is said to be effective. Now, but we are not sure if this effective ad is also giving us the desired results. Now, the desired results of an ad effectiveness will depend upon how firm and how clear the objectives are. So, what are the objectives of those common advertising objectives that the effectiveness measures, right? We have an objective, and to see if that objective is met, we need to find the advertisements effectiveness. So, what are those goals and the end results? Number one, it is the brand awareness. Number two, it is the product or service sales, amount of sales, right? So, the higher the sale, there's a possibility that it is the ads effectiveness that has resulted in this increased sales. So, the product or services sales. Then comes the website traffic. Has the advertisement mobilized enough visitors to go through these ads? Are they viewing it totally? Are they coming again and again to review it? Are they engaging in that advertisement, and are they connecting with the brand, the people behind, in order to get further information, or are they executing their intention of purchase and buying the product? Okay, so and are they going for a repeat purchase as well? So that is the brand loyalty. So here the objectives of the advertiser can be like creating awareness, converting into sale, uh, having an attitude towards the brand preferences, and repurchase, showing the brand loyalty, and revisit to the website to check if there are any new products. That would be the best that an advertiser can expect. Okay, so we now have the aspects on one side, the key aspects of advertising effectiveness, and on the other side we have the objectives. Now, the aspects check how the ad works, in the sense how the ad works on the audience, how it impacts the audience. And the objective is what the brand hopes to achieve from the ad. Like if we take the very first aspect, that is the attention of the viewers. And here we are having the objective as brand awareness. The attention of the viewers has been captured or seized or fixed towards our ad, and the viewer has spent the desired time to completely view the advertisement, and now he's got the awareness of the brand, the product, the brand promise, or the utility of the product, the availability of the whatever is being communicated through that advertisement message. uh, the aspect focuses on the audience's response, whereas the objective focuses on the business goals. You remember, we discussed the business goal, the marketing goal, and the brand brand's objective. So, while aspects are diagnostic by nature, that is, they help improve the communication, the ad. If the ad is effective enough, then we can repeat the ad. If the ad requires some kinds of tweaking or some kinds of improvisations in our next advertising campaign, we may bring those changes to be incorporated into our new communication. While objectives are strategic, in the sense they help justify the advertising campaigns investment. Okay, so now, why do we have to measure the advertising effectiveness? Do we really have to measure it? Now, why do we have to measure? The first thing is to justify the return on investment on advertising spend, how much we have spent and what is the result that we got. Could we meet that objective? Could we increase the sale? Could we, I mean, could we gather more leads? Could we bring in more customers to our fold? Right? So there are several objectives that, if met, the brand advertising can be said to be effective and has paid us back for the investment. Uh, the second reason why we need to measure the advertising effectiveness is like to improve the future communications or future campaigns that we are attempting, which I just narrated while discussing the aspects and objectives, the diagnostic side of the aspects that we are considering while measuring the advertising effectiveness. And the third, that is identifying the strength and weakness of the message that we have created and communicated to our target audience. Okay. With this, let us see what are the various tools of advertising effectiveness and how do we use them, where do we use them. Also, let's see if we can discuss some examples of using those tools in reality. Okay. Overall, the advertising effectiveness tools or the measurements can be done in three phases. One is the pre-testing, the second is the concurrent testing, and then the post-testing. Well, as the words say, pre-testing, that is actually before going to launch the advertising campaign altogether. So before we launch the advertisement, we need to test if the message is appropriate and would impact on our target audience. Okay. So pre-testing, that is before launch, what do we do? Here again, we have three types of tests. One is the concept testing, the second is the copy testing, and the third is our psychological testing. So, what is our concept testing? And how do we do it? When we are undergoing this concept testing, we actually use certain methods like the focus group or an in-depth survey or in-depth interview, in fact, and the online surveys. Okay. How do we implement this, and why do we do these three types of why do we use these three types of tools in order to ensure that the storyboard created or the idea incorporated into the message uh, is effective, right? Is it conveying the message intended? So the storyboard or the ad ideas are evaluated before the full production is made. Okay, so that the investment doesn't go wasted. Now, let's take an example. A beverage brand tests three creative ideas. Say, suppose they created three different storyboards and they want to test like which one is having the right impact on the audience and to see whether uh, any of these ads and the story resonates with the teens. Okay, so what do they see in this? Does this ad and the message appeal these teenagers to try the product? Number one. Number two, is it anyways relevant to them, their lifestyle and their I mean their preferences? And is the story unique enough to catch their attention, to keep them with the belief that the brand promises something which they can realize owning the brand, using the brand or the product. Okay, So if this works out, whichever idea gives them the highest impact, they would go with that for the full production, and the advertisement will be created and then finally launched. So the concept testing will give that assurance that whatever they are doing or whatever message they are creating will be effective enough. Then comes the copy testing. Okay. Now here the methods or the tools used will be surveys and psychographic tests. Well, to assess a nearly finished ad for the attention, the message, the conviction, like how clear the message is, how promising the message is, how the message impacts on their emotions. Okay, well, let's take the example of Unilever's job advertisement. When the advertisement has been created, uh, they used a survey and psychometric tool, which was actually designed by Link, Millward Brown's tool. Link, since Unilever can afford it, they have used this to see how it is impacting on the target audience. Okay, so the key metrics that we can notice here in order to evaluate are like the attention and the message clarity, the brand linkage, and the emotional impact. So, if this is being met, possibly the ad it will be effective and can be believed to bring that objective, the right results. Okay. Another third one, the psychological testing. Well, a part of this is also used in the copy testing, that is in the in Link, or the tool that this I mean Millward Brown's Link uses includes this as well. So these are psychological testings like eye tracking, then the facial coding, like does the viewer show interest, curiosity, excitement, happiness, kind of a satisfaction, or a belief. So, what are the expressions that the audience is reflecting? And uh, here they may even go further to use the EEG, electroencephalogram, right? Or the heart rate monitoring to check like if the ad and the story and the message are anyways changing the heart rate of the person, like the person gets excited, the person gets senses some kind of a fear appeal. What is it that the person senses? So to understand the subconscious relations, subconscious uh, brand to product to the customer's expectation relation, right? And how they react to it. Okay. Let's talk about an example here, like a luxury car uh, uses the eye tracking test in order to see if the viewers attention goes to the brand logo or not, and how often does it go. Okay, so this is one kind of a psychological test. All this is done before the ad is actually launched. So let us move on to the next set of tools used for ad effectiveness measurement. uh, we talk about concurrent testing, that is while the ad is running or the campaign is in full swing. Okay, so you can even say during the campaign period, what kind of tests are done and why are they done? Okay, sorry. Uh, Once again, we come across three kinds of tests here. The first one is the tracking studies. Uh, Tracking studies here means like we keep a track of the changes that happen with the target audience through surveys. The methods we use here are surveys, surveys. I mean, periodic surveys. Maybe every week you conduct a survey in order to see how much of change has taken place, and change in the awareness, change in the recall rate, change in the attitude. Okay, so let's take the example of a smartphone, right? When a smartphone is launched and the advertisement is also launched, um, the brand tracks to check every week uh, how many people can actually recall. So and this can run over a period of 2 months, that is 8 weeks. So they get to understand how good is the brand recall, are more and more trying to recall the brand, um, the even the message recall. Are they able to remember the tagline, the message, the brand promise, and also they can test here their favorability. Are they willing to buy this product, own this product, um, or not? Okay. The second test that we can do during the campaign is the digital analytics. As it is very clear from the very word, we are using the platform, the digital platform, the electronic media, and trying to gather the impressions of our viewers, users, and the public. Okay. So we have Google Analytics like YouTube, left, brand left, and also like Meta Ads Manager. Now, these are the tools that can be used to track the audience's behavior, right? We are more interested in the conversion here. So we are tracking the behavior. We want to check like if there is a change in the behavior, the buying intentions, right? And this is done. These particular tests are done live or real time, for the online ads in particular. Okay. So the key metrics here will be like the CTR or click through rate, or the bounce rate. Well, there are many other engaging conversions that can be done. And we test here the rate of conversion, the rate of engagement as well. So you can read more details of all these different tests from your study material. You come across CPC, CPA, then CPL, and CPM, right? So the clicks through, I mean, click through rate or the CTR, which is actually the number of people actually clicking the product divided by the number of people who viewed the product, or ad, sorry, not the product, the ad. The number of people clicking the ad divided by the number of people who view the ad into 100. So this gives us a percentage of people who are actually showing interest in the ad. Okay. Well, the third one is called the split run testing. Here, what we actually do is we gather some people who would be administered these tests, and they are divided into two groups. Or we may choose these respondents from the population and expose them to two different messages and see how people are reacting to these messages or responding to these messages. So, two versions of an ad are displayed to these two groups, and the responses are tracked. Okay, and then they are compared to see like which ad performs better, which message performs better, which message is more convincing, which message enables more transformation or conversions. E-commerce brands usually test two banner ads on their site. So some people view a certain banner, and there are other set of people who would be viewing a different banner. So which banner has seized the attention of the browser? I mean the person browsing or the viewer, and if they clicked that particular banner and explored more information, sought more information. Okay, or if it is an ad scroll that is there on their page and is inviting them to buy or avail an offer, how many people are actually responding? So we check that. Okay, we then move on to the third, that is the post testing tools, which is usually done after the campaign has ended. Okay. This is used to check the final impact of the advertisement and how it has impacted on the behavior of the audience and the uh, desired customers, and how did it contribute to the business. So post-testing tools usually are performed to check how much they have contributed to the business or the revenue. Okay. Now, what type of tests do we have here? What methods do we follow, and why do we follow these methods? Okay. The first one is our sales analysis. We compare the sales before, during, and after campaign. How was the sale at a certain time before the ad was launched? Then, while the ad was running, the campaign was in full swing. What kind of an improvement in the sales occurred? And finally, after the campaign ended, how much of revenue is being generated, how much of sales is being done. So it's a measure of the actual effect on sales, uh, or we can call this the sales lift. How much of sales lift has happened? Uh, we can take example of several products, FMCG products, like a detergent brand runs a campaign in select cities. Okay, and it surveys I mean measures the sales in these cities before the ad launch, after the ad launch, and while the ad runs through the campaign period, that is during the campaign and after the campaign has ended, and uh, we compare it with the control cities, right? So once we know this, then based on the results, we can even control the sales in these cities. Okay, next. Uh, the second post test will be our marketing mix modeling, which in the short form is MMM. We use here regression models on historical data, and like historical data like uh, the different ads, the pricing, the promotions. Okay, I mean the different channels where the ads have been launched, and see like how they have impacted. Now, when we talk about this regression models, we are trying to see if the sales has occurred. I mean, the sales lift has happened because of the ad campaign, or there are other factors which have impacted on it. So we use the statistical models to isolate the contribution of the advertising campaign from other factors that could have impacted. Okay. Well, there's an advertisement that runs during the COVID period for a certain um, medical equipment, and say suppose and otherwise, how does that particular medical, we have purchased a lot of oximeters. Even people who have no connection with the medical diagnostic facilities and all, they kept a oximeter at home. So otherwise nobody would wish to buy a product and keep for the personal use, but we were rushing to buy those diagnostic tools during that COVID period. Uh, did this happen because of an advertisement that they viewed earlier? No, this happened just because there was a necessity at that moment. So the environmental changes that could be the factors instead of an advertisement actually impacting the sale. So uh, MMM can be done to understand. I mean, we can a CPG brand actually uses MMM to estimate how much revenue came from television ads, how much revenue came from digital ads, how much revenue came from other broadcast medium like radio ads, right? So you can see what kind of the audience is actually responding to our brand, our product, because of this information delivered through the advertising campaign. Okay, the third, the customer feedback and service. Almost every one of us has gone through this kind of a test administered to us somewhere or the other. The simplest will be like you dined in a restaurant, and as I mean, they when they produce the bill to you, there comes a small sheet of paper which takes the feedback. So we have all been administered through such service, and similar such survey will be conducted to a viewer in order to see whether an ad campaign and the advertising um, advertisement has actually impacted in creating awareness or say motivating you to buy, encouraging you to recall the brand, or change your behavior or attitude either towards the product, the brand, or a certain habit of yours. Okay, so online and offline surveys are done in order to check the ad effectiveness. NPS or Net Promoter Score is another means, and also open-ended feedback can be conducted in order to understand the impact of an ad through the ad campaign. I mean, during after the ad campaign has ended. So this is done to gather the customer opinions about the ad effectiveness or the brand perception or the brand message that's coined into the advertisement, or the satisfaction sorry, or the satisfaction of I mean responding to that ad and buying the product and using the product. Okay. Well, we can take examples like after a campaign has ended, a bank sends out a short survey uh, asking people, did you notice our ad? Where did you notice our ad? Um, what did you feel about it? Right? They may ask you such questions. Well, these are the various tools that are used for ad effectiveness measurement. Now we come to um, this Millward Brown's tool, that is Link. Uh, a few points here will help us understand this better. It is used for pre-testing TV or video ads, and it measures like the ad intention, the ads attention, the 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 branding that is being done, or the brand recall. Is it possible, or did the viewers notice the brand? How quickly did they notice the brand? uh, if the message delivered is clear or not, and also the emotional engagement uh, of the viewer while viewing the ad. Okay. Now, surveys are combined here with the neuroscience elements, so that they get a scientific proof of how the body responds when it comes across the ad and the message through the ad, the visuals and how they respond to the visuals, the logo, the, tagline, all this they would be noting. Outputs, this actual link outputs an action standard score, action standard score, in the sense like it quantifies the responses. Like we talked about Unilever's Dove ad has been tested by Link. This is a expensive tool, very expensive tool, and also time consuming. And smaller firms may not be able to afford it, be it for the sake of the time involved or even the amount of money involved. While the results are pretty good. Okay. Now, let us look at our last aspect, like what are the difficulties in measuring the advertising effectiveness? Uh, the first one will be the time lag. You must have yourself realized when you see an ad, the immediate reaction would be like when you see the ad to be catching your attention and a beautiful story told, you will be impressed. You will like the ad. You may even remember the brand. You may remember the product, but then you do not require this product at the moment. You wouldn't be going and buying the product immediately. The conversion doesn't happen immediately. So there's a time lag between the ad exposure and the real purchase. Well, so over a period of time, when you are actually buying the product, it is not certain that the ad has impacted you to buy the product. There could be other factors as well. So it is difficult to actually decide on whether the ad has affected you to buy the product. On the contrary, it could be the ad itself which has led you to buy the product, though at a very later, though after a long gap. Okay, next. There could be multiple influences like pricing, seasonality. Sometimes we even buy certain products, though we do not require them at the moment. And why do we buy them? Impulsive buy, or possibly it is because of the upcoming season. Like some people may buy an umbrella much before the monsoon comes, right? And they do not have to. It is not necessary that they see an ad and then get influenced by it and buy it. So just because they prefer a proactive lifestyle, they want to have a functional umbrella to be at their reach, and they would buy it much before the season actually approaches. Or you may buy certain products because of the season. Well, out of sentiments also we buy. Uh, so, gold and silver, when they're advertised, people may not immediately buy, but during the time of certain festivities like Akshay Tritiya or Dhanteras, we do certainly buy. So, it may be the season because of which we have bought, and not actually the festivity for which we have bought, but not actually the ad that has lured us to buy a product. So we are not really sure if it is the advertisement that has impacted us or influenced us to buy the product. There can be a difficulty in isolating ad impact in integrated campaign. Integrated campaign where we are using multiple platforms to reach the customer, to communicate about the promotions of the product, uh, maybe the brand awareness, maybe the new product launch, maybe a new market. So geographical spread is the, so whatever the message carries, but then the message which is reached to the customers on different platforms, we may not exactly split up and understand which one. On the contrary, we can also see individually which platform has impacted. So we'll have to make a multiple tests. Okay. Uh, at times, we cannot measure the non-sales objectives like brand love. Why do they love the brand? There are many such advertisements which you may like. You also remember them so well, but then you may not purchase the product. Not everybody buys a Mercedes Benz, right? But then they may certainly like every single ad that Mercedes launches. Okay. I would like to suggest you some homework which you must engage in, so that whatever learnings and whatever discussion we had today, you can reflect on it. Now, why do you think? So, we have talked about several advertisements through these 6 days. We talked about Amul, we talked about Cadbury's, we talked about Dove, we talked about um, Nike. Well, you can take any of these. Now, let's take Nike. Why do you think it's hard to measure uh, the emotional branding campaign like Nike? Okay, why do you think it's hard to measure uh, emotional branding campaign like Nike's? Nike's emotional brand. Why is it difficult to measure? So that's something which you need to work on. Just give me a moment. Um, I've got one more task for you to do this, to understand. Actually, as a case study, you can um, work out. Go to the YouTube and find the ads of, Amazon India, the campaign Apni Dukaan, right? The Apni Dukaan campaign, which was launched in the year 2021 by Amazon, and you can check the different types of the tools they used. Well, you may not know what exactly the tools they used, but then uh, They have launched that in both Hindi and English creatives. They've done a split test, a split run A/B test and launched. So if you can come across them both, you can see both the ads. Then they also use this MMM, the marketing mix model, to find out the ROI. Okay, and they have also conducted the customer feedback surveys, um, about the ads. So you can go through that Apni Dukan ad and see like how effective it has been, right? You may not exactly get the statistics they acquired on evaluating these ads, but you will certainly get to know like uh, what are the various how the ad has actually attempted to convey the message. What I'm trying to say is the aspects, the key aspects in the advertisement, and the objectives. How did they? How effective was the ad? So you can look into that. You can also, uh, sorry, there's one other uh, advertisement which you can work on. I don't recall exactly like which one I wanted you to um, reflect. We can discuss a little bit more on these um, key metrics in the digital analytics, like uh, the CPC, CPL, CPA, and CPM, and also the bounce rates. Now, the bounce rate is like uh, people click on the ad, they don't check further. After a few seconds, they come out of it. Right? They click on the ad, but they do not go through the details and do not click on the further links, uh, and they come out of the ad. So this is the bounce rate. So how many such people are there? So then they would analyze why did people bounce back. Okay, and a bounce rate less than 40 is desirable. So then we have this click per milli or click per thousand. So how many people have actually clicked for every thousand viewers? This is another measure. Then click per acquisition. How many people have actually bought the product in comparison to how many people viewed it? So and CPL gives us a count of how many hot customers or leads did the ad generate, right? How many people viewed it and how many people actually uh, were moved from prospect to, I mean, from a viewer to a prospect, right? So the leads. So these are the various tests that one can conduct. Uh, well, that's for today. I guess we completed it a little early. Um, well, you can wind up. Um, Thank you. इक्कीस करो कंप्लीट है.